This has been a presentation of Nesson, a sports programming service in partnership with the Boston Globe.
Closed captioning for Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you by Aflac. Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Fenway Park.
Live from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Nesson presents Boston Red Sox baseball. Today it's the series finale between the Red Sox and the Royals. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Welcome to Red Sox baseball, the final game of the series, and the Red Sox are hoping Derek Lowe can get back to his winning ways. It's been a tough stretch over the last 3 outings. Of course, May 20th, his shortest outing, just 2 1/3 innings, 8 hits and 7 earned runs at Tampa Bay. Then the next time out, he won against the Oakland A's, but it was certainly kind of a sketchy outing over 6 innings, giving him 9 hits and 5 earned runs. And then last time out, just the 5 plus 8 hits and 7 earned runs against the Baltimore Orioles in a loss. So 2 out of the last 3 have been losses for Derek Lowe. The Red Sox hoping to get back to his winning ways. And as we welcome in Jerry Remy. Jerry, up again towards the top of the order is Kevin Youkilis.
Well, Kevin Youkilis, the Red Sox have been very fortunate this year with injuries. Of course, Garcia Parra, Pokey Reese has gone the shortstop and done a terrific job. And now with Bill Miller out, Kevin Youkilis, with very little minor league experience, coming in and playing big-time baseball. We look at the numbers, the 300 batting average, hit his second home run here last night against Kansas City, a .411 on-base percentage, and he scored 17 runs already this season. So here's a guy that comes with the reputation of getting on base. He has done it at the major league level. He does not seem intimidated at the major league level. He's played very good defense, and I think the thing that impresses me the most on, he puts very good at bats on pitches. He's not an easy out. He'll make him battle and make him throw a lot of pitches. He'll drive the ball the other way. He's been a pleasant surprise for the Red Sox, and again, with a guy that does not have a lot of experience.
A hot and humid afternoon. The series finale coming your way next from Kansas City. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium, everybody, in Kansas City as the Red Sox wrap up their series with the Kansas City Royals. And one of the topics that we discussed in the open was Kevin Youkilis, who had a chance to sit down with our own Hazel May just moments ago.
With Kevin Youkilis. Kevin, second major league home run yesterday. Take us through that at-bat.
It's basically first pitch was a fastball away. I was looking away, and once my bat, I was just trying to keep the ball up the middle, hit it the other way. And second pitch was a fastball right down the middle that I got a good swing on it, and luckily got out of this park.
With Bill Miller out, you are the everyday third baseman here. You've been on base 16 of the 17 games. You were definitely making the most of your opportunities. You feeling good out there? Yeah,
I'm feeling really comfortable out there. I'm just doing what I do every day. I'm taking it just like it was just like a minor league game or any other baseball game I played in, and going out, giving 100% and sticking to what I do best, and that's just going up there and being selective at the plate and taking pitches and just trying to play like every day.
Finally, what's life been like in your first year in the major leagues? Any adjustments? Anything that surprised you about being a big leaguer? Anything that's really cool about being a big leaguer?
Every day you get the opportunity to come out here and play with some of these great guys. Play with Manny Ramirez, hitting with him, and guys you get to play with here that are just might be Hall of Famers, and you got Kurt Schilling, who's won MVP of a World Series. It's just unbelievable feeling, and you get to face a lot of these guys too. Like we got to face Tim Hudson and Roy Halladay, and you can't beat that experience. It's playing with the best and knowing you can hit off them. And I got a hit against Roy Halladay, which was like that made me have my self-confidence go up a lot when you face these great guys and you get the opportunity to get hits off, and then you realize maybe I can play at this level. And that's just the best thing about it, is just coming out here every day and getting to play against these great players.
Continued success to you. It's fun to watch you out there.
Thanks a lot.
Back to you guys.
All right, Hazel May, thank you very much. As it is a sticky afternoon here in Kansas City, a little bit on the humid side. The Red Sox and the Royals getting ready to wrap up this 3-game series. The Red Sox trying to take 2 out of 3 from Kansas City. The Red Sox will have tomorrow off, and let's take a look at what's on tap for the Red Sox, brought to you by Heineken. As mentioned, the day off tomorrow. Then interleague play starts for the Red Sox 2004 style. San Diego Padres will be in Tuesday through Thursday. All the action right here on on NESN at 7 p.m. Then the Dodgers are in over the weekend. UPN 38 has the game inside Boston. NESN outside of Boston on Friday night. Saturday will be a Fox National game. And then on Sunday, an ESPN game of the week as the Red Sox play the Dodgers. And, of course, the pregame report 1 hour prior to all NESN games. Well, lately, Jerry, we've not really known what to expect from Derek Lowe, but certainly he'd like to get back on track here today.
Absolutely. He's had his problems. There's no question about that, Don. And, you know, it's interesting when you watch a guy struggle. For example, when the Red Sox were home, he would want to wear those red shirts because that's what made him successful. Last time he got a win at home, he had the red shirt on. I noticed when he was warming up in the bullpen today, he had his hands pulled up high, showing his Red Sox. So, I mean, when guys are going through tough times, they're always trying to do something different. In the case of Derek Lowe, that's what it's been. But he needs to get off to a good start here. Last time I thought he pitched pretty well until he got to that point where he had the cut in his finger. I don't think that's going to be a major factor for him today. That thing's all healed up. All it was really was a paper cut that he got when he tried to throw a curveball. And we were concerned it was a blister that had busted open. That was not the case. So, you know, hopefully today he can make some adjustments. I think throw inside a little bit more against some of these left-handers so they can't be leaning out over the plate to get that sinker. We'll see what adjustments he's made as we get into this ball game.
And yesterday, of course, a nice victory for the Red Sox, certainly with the doctor ordered, and a good outing from Curt Schilling.
Yeah, great outing, you know, and what helped so much is the Red Sox got off quickly. Ortiz with that home run early in the game. And, you know, when you get runs early like that and you have a guy like Schilling on the mound, it takes a lot of pressure off. Now, Schilling certainly feels the same amount of pressure, even though he's got runs. He's trying to shut this other club out. But I think as a group, as a whole team, when you can jump out in front like that, especially when you've been struggling, and the Red Sox have been struggling, to get that lead, knowing you've got that guy behind you, I think it just takes a little bit of the edge off. Everybody relaxes. When you relax, you play better baseball.
Well, the Red Sox had fallen 3.5 games back at the Yankees heading into yesterday's action, but with the Red Sox win coupled with the Yankees loss, the Red Sox are now 2.5 games back of New York to begin the day and to wrap up this road trip for the Red Sox, as they will today against the Kansas City Royals, who take the field led by their starting pitcher Chris George. Let's take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup, brought to you by Dodge. Johnny Damon leading off in center field. Kevin Youkilis at third base batting second. Jason Varitek in the 3 spot today doing the catching. Manny Ramirez, the DH. Kevin Millard in left. Dave McCarty at first base. Gabe Kapler in right. Cesar Crespo at second base. Pokey Reese bats ninth at shortstop as the Red Sox face Chris George.
Chris George just recently recalled from the minor leagues. Down at the minor league level, had a 1-3 record with a 2.32 ERA. His only start this year was against the Tigers on June 1st. A no decision, 6 2/3 in that game, allowed 7 hits and 3 earned runs. Had some trouble with his control, 5 walks and 1 strikeout. In his career against the Red Sox, an 0-2 record, and last year with Kansas City in 18 starts went 9-6, but the ERA, even at 9-6, was at 7.11. Kansas City defense is brought to you by New England Toyota dealers. It'll be Joe Rander at third base, Angel Baroa the shortstop, Tony Graffinino at second, and Ken Harvey at first. Left to right, Byron Geddes, Carlos Beltran, and Matt Stairs. Kelly Stinnett doing the catching for Chris George.
Terry Kraft has the plate today. Mike DeMuro at first base. Joe West, the umpire, at second, and Paul Emmel at third base for the 4-man crew. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Well, a warm afternoon in Kansas City as Johnny Damon about to step in against Chris George. Damon begins the day at .279, 3 homers, and 29 runs batted in. Was 0 for 5 in the game yesterday. The only member of the Red Sox starting 9 not to have a hit. And the first pitch from George in there for a strike, and we're underway. 86 degrees here today at Kauffman Stadium. Damon over the last 9 games, 5 for 27 at 185 over the last 9 games.
And again today, Don, for the 3rd straight day, the Red Sox see a left-hander with a very similar style. You're not going to see an overpowering pitcher. Middle to high 80s with the fastball. He's got the curveball and also the changeup. It's amazing to see 3 lefties in a row, and they're almost all identical.
Damon fouls off another 1-2 to Johnny Damon. Chris George listed at 6'2", 200 pounds from Spring, Texas. To right field, Matt Stairs headed back. That is up, and that is off the wall. Stairs plays the carom. Damon headed to second base with a leadoff wall ball double.
Johnny Damon just missed a home run by about 5 feet. He gets a breaking ball that stays out over the plate, and Johnny Damon, who has kind of a sweeping swing, is able to get to that ball and pound it right high off that wall in right field.
So his 14th double of the year has Damon in scoring position to begin things here in the top of the first inning. And here is Kevin Youkilis. Bunting and popping it up, and caught by the pitcher Chris George for out number 1.
I think that's something Youkilis was doing on his own, trying to drop a bunt down the third base side. There's no way at this stage of the game that Terry Francona, who very seldom bunts, is going to put on a sacrifice. I think right there he's just trying to get the ball down for possibly a base hit. Not a good bat angle. The barrel of the bat underneath the baseball, and that causes the pop-up.
Late change in the Red Sox lineup prior to the game, with Mark Bellhorn falling ill, felt sick today, and was in the original starting lineup, comes out of the lineup. And as part of the adjustments, Jason Varitek, who had been batting 6th originally in the Red Sox lineup, moved in there now to 3rd. Varitek up over 300 at 301.
Don, you know what happens with a young player like Youkilis? He's so concerned about getting that man to third base that he's trying to figure out any way he can to do that. He thought he could bunt him over and also maybe get a base hit. I think there's no question Francona, especially the way he's swinging the bat, would prefer to see him try to take a shot to the opposite field, swinging the bat. And you can see by that look right there that that's not exactly what Terry Francona was looking for.
Grounded right side to Graffinino. Tough hop as he throws out Varitek. And with a ground ball to the right side, on to third goes Johnny Damon with now 2 down.
And we had all kind of lineup changes before the game,
which is always fun once you've penciled it all in.
Yeah, you know, you hope if there's a scratch, and Bellhorn was a scratch, they could just slide somebody into that spot. But with this scratch today, the whole lineup was changed completely.
There was a lot of sliding and scratching, and if this becomes a classic, that is going to be kind of a mess, although you do go with the whiteout.
That's okay. Do you really need the sunglasses?
Yes, very glary.
Yeah. It's I don't see the sun.
No, but it's very glary. There's glare coming through the clouds. What do you think?
I think it's pretty weak.
2 down here in the first inning. Damon at third base.
I have one more question.
Yes.
When we do the open,
yes,
we had this fan that was blowing on us, and my hair was kind of blowing around. How come yours doesn't blow around?
Because it's like got the spray. Your moss was blowing around. You have a little bit of spray, and it stays.
Oh, you spray it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he pops it up foul off the right side, back and out of play.
So that spray you have on that, that head of yours.
Yeah, because then it just stays.
I noticed, like, we go through, you know, tornadoes and wind tunnels, and it never moves. And I'm saying, why? I mean, it's not a rug.
It moves during wind tunnels. I mean, you spray a little bit, a little bit of hairspray, and then you're all set.
Let's get to the
Your
game.
moss is totally unmanageable during the open when it's flying all over the place. 1-1 to Manny. Up and away, and it's 2-1.
First base open here early in the ball game. Ramirez just tears up left-handed pitching. We'll have to see how careful George works to him. How about this? I'm writing the Red Sox things on the
Royal side of the page.
Yep.
Boy, this is, if you're purchasing this card, this one is without question a winner. 3-1 now to Ramirez. Did you notice that the names weren't matching up? You really didn't look down.
I didn't look down. I was concerned about your hair.
The outfield defense straight away on Ramirez. The Red Sox trying to break on top here in the first. And Manny fouls it back to the backstop. Full count. George off the backside of the mound comes in with no record in his second appearance of the season as Millar waits on deck. George was a sandwich pick between the first and second rounds, 31st overall in 1998 by the Kansas City Royals. He has spent parts of 4 seasons in the big leagues with Kansas City. And Manny walks with 2 down in the inning. First walk given up by Chris George.
Mentioned in that last outing against the Tigers, only 1 strikeout for George, but he did have 5 walks in that ball game.
So 2 down, 2 on, and here's Kevin Millar. 275, 4 homers, and 16 runs batted in. On the road and the better batting average this season for Kevin Millar. Batting at .327 over the last 15 games. Popped up into shallow right field. Out goes Graffinino a long way to right to make that catch. Had to drift back into medium depth right field with Stairs playing deeply, and the Red Sox don't score. Royals coming up. Back in Kansas City as we head to the bottom of the first inning. The Kansas City Royals lineup is brought to you by Rico. Tony Graffinino at the top of the order for the second straight day at second base. Carlos Beltran in center field. Mike Sweeney, the DH. Ken Harvey off to a .374 start at first base. Matt Stairs in right. Joe Randa, third base. Kelly Stinnett catching the day game after the night game. Angel Baroa at shortstop, and Byron Geddes in left field bats ninth as they face Derek Lowe.
4-5 on the season. This will be start number 11, his second against Kansas City. He lost to the Royals at Fenway Park, went 5 2/3 in that game and gave up 4 earned runs against Kansas City. Left-handers hitting .355 off Derek Lowe. Right-handers .316.
Tony Graffinino has led off 6 of the last 7 Kansas City games, and back in there at second base today. Quickly in the hole, nothing in 2. Overall now 17 games in the leadoff spot, hitting at .265 from the leadoff spot overall at .312 on the season. And a torn meniscus that placed him on the DL was activated on May 28th, and since then has hit safely in 7 of the last 8 games. To left field, Millar racing back. This one's going to be over his head and off the wall. There's the carom quickly, but into second base with a leadoff double goes Tony Graffinino.
Well, not exactly the start that Derek Lowe was looking for. He quickly got ahead of Graffinino, 1 and 2. He goes to the sinker that stays up about thigh high, and Graffinino puts it off that wall at the .385 mark out there in left field.
So a runner at second base right out of the gate here in the bottom of the first inning, and it brings up Carlos Beltran. And he's showing bunt, fouling it off.
I don't quite understand that, Don. You know, Beltran, one of the top players of the game. He's been swinging the bat very well recently. You don't expect this game to be a low-scoring game.
Had his troubles in this position. Runners in scoring position The opposition hitting at .338. Showing bunt again and offering at it again and fouling it off. 1-2 to Beltran. So it's not just a one-time thing for Beltran. He tries it again.
It looks like he's trying to drop a bunt down that third base line, pull Euclid off the bag, and have a wide open space for Graffinito to get in the third. But again, I would prefer to see Beltran swing the bat if I'm Tony Pena.
Pickoff play at second. No throw from Lowe. Is back to the bag is Graffinito. A lot of people in the Kansas City order would like to see Tony Pena with Carlos Beltran either in the 3-4 spot rather than the spot that he's been batting in, as this one is chopped foul outside of first. I guess when things are not going well, a lot of suggestions coming from a lot of different places as to what the lineup should look like.
Well, they got a guy Sweeney in the 3 spot that's doing pretty well, and of course they got Harvey in the cleanup spot, who's second in the league in hitting.
Yeah, hitting .374. Sweeney the DH today, waiting on deck for Kansas City. Grounded right side. Crespo on to McCarty for out number 1. And on to third goes Graffinito.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Lexus, and today it'll be Kevin Youkilis at third base, Pokey Reese the shortstop, Cesar Crespo at second, and David McCarty at first. Left to right, Kevin Millard, Johnny Damon, and Gabe Kapler, and Jason Veritek doing the catching. 1 error for Johnny Damon and 143 chances out there in center field. Made a couple of nice plays last night.
One down for Mike Sweeney, the designated hitter, with Graffinito at third base. One down here in the last half of the first inning. Sweeney at .271, 9 home runs and 36 runs driven in.
And he has always hit Derek Lowe very well. 500 batting average coming into the game. 8 for 16.
Deep and fire towards left field. Millar looking up. That'll carry out of here. A 2-run home rn for Mike Sweeney. His 10th of the year puts the Royals on top 2-0. And his solo home run yesterday hits a 2-run shot here today.
Looked like a curveball that time from Lowe. Sweeney picks up number 10. Yes, it is the curveball that stayed inside. And Sweeney up over the 385 mark. So we had Graffinito go off the wall. Now the home run by Sweeney.
There's Ken Harvey hitting at .374 so far in the season. 7 homers, 24 runs batted in. He's second only to Melvin Mora. Begins the day hitting .379 for the Orioles. And look at the numbers. Vlad Guerrero now third in the league at .352. And Manny starts the day at .351. Sweeney ranking 5th on Kansas City's all-time home run chart. That was home run number 149 for Mike Sweeney. Next on the list is Frank White, who has 160 in his career with Kansas City. Murphy was lunging after that pitch, and it's a full count now. With a career best 14-game hitting streak going. And he strikes out this time. First strikeout for Derek Lowe. 2 down.
Well, that time Derek's able to keep the sinker down. That ball actually below the kneecap to pick up the strikeout. That's good action on that sinker. You keep the ball down there, you're not going to be giving up home runs. You lay that flat curveball up in the zone, and that's when the guys can take you deep like Sweeney did.
So So 2 down. Matt Stair stands in. Out after the first pitch. Fouling it down the left field line. Stairs has been outstanding at home. Not so good on the road. He's hit at .355 here at Kauffman Stadium in 22 games. And checks in at just 189 away from Kauffman Stadium in 22 road games. Over the last 22 games, Stairs has hit at .233, dropping that average from .302 down to the .265 where it rests today. Evens up at 2-2. And a full count now to Stairs. This is the first time Derek Lowe has used that much stirrup. I don't remember the stirrups looking that way. He's usually got the pants right inside the shoes. Trying to change his luck here this afternoon. And Stairs strikes out to end the inning. Back-to-back Ks for Lowe. But a 2-run home run for Mike Sweeney as Kansas City on top 2-0.
Back in Kansas City, the Royals have jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Well, the Red Sox Foundation is working with Pedro Martinez, David Ortiz, and Manny Ramirez to assist in the relief effort following the tragic floods in their native Dominican Republic. Red Sox Nation can help too. If you'd like to make a financial contribution that will go toward vital food and medicine, that will be delivered directly to victims in the Dominican. Send checks payable to the Red Sox Foundation at Fenway Park, Boston, Mass. 02215.
David McCarty leads it off as we head to the visiting half of the second inning. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Red Sox in the inning. McCarty, Kapler, and Crespo. David getting the start at first base today for the Red Sox. Red Sox stranded Damon at third and Ramirez at first in the first inning. After Johnny Damon had doubled to begin the inning, the Red Sox couldn't get him in. The Royals in the bottom of the first come up with 2 runs on the 2-run shot from Mike Sweeney. Strike 3 call to Dave McCarty. First strikeout for Chris George.
Yeah, McCarty's going to have something to say to Terry Kraft on that call. That ball looked like it might have been up and away from McCarty. Terry Kraft, the home plate umpire this afternoon, ringing him up. Kelly Stennett set up way outside. Really didn't have to move that glove. It was almost like they're trying to waste a pitch.
1 down for Gabe Kapler. Broken bat liner snared by Angel Baroa. Stride on the outfield grass.
Broken bat for Gabe Kapler. Gets jammed and just left with half of that bat in his hand, and the baseball going out to Angel Baroa at shortstop. That sounded like some bad wood.
2 down for Cesar Crespo, who gets a start today with Mark Bellhorn feeling ill this afternoon. So Crespo a late assertion into the Red Sox lineup. 169, no homers, and 1 run batted in for Cesar Crespo. Over the last 16 games, he's gone 1 for 19. Making his 6th start of the season at second base today for the Red Sox. Well, he's been all over the place for the Red Sox, as you see the positions he has appeared in this season. Into center field. Cesar Crespo just been 1 for 19 coming in, but a 2-out single. The Red Sox with their second hit of the day.
Yeah, that's only the second hit of the season for Crespo, hitting from the right side of the plate. He is now 2 for 12, hitting right-handed. Keeps George away from that 1-2-3 inning with the line drive base hit up the middle.
Number 9 man Pokey Reese at 247, 2 homers and 20 runs batted in. Pokey Reese against the Kansas City Royals on May 8th posted his first career 2-home run game. Of course, the inside the park home run, and then the more conventional home run. The 24th player in Major League history to turn the trick in consecutive innings, and the first since Milwaukee's Robin Yount, June 19th of 1982 at Detroit. Fouled off the right side, and Pokey Reese down 1-2.
Probably the smallest crowd of the series here this afternoon. Good crowd on Friday night. Very good crowd last night. Still not bad here on Sunday afternoon.
This is one of the cleaner stadiums I think you'll find.
Absolutely.
They do a great job in keeping the stadium up. And I'm told, even though I've not been in it, that next door Arrowhead is one of the best places to watch a football game, which is right in behind us, and they share the same parking lots. Kelly Stinnett getting the start today. Benito Santiago catching the night game, in there for the day game today. The 2-2 to Pokey Reese. Again fouled off the right side. Still 2-2. George in just his second appearance of the season, up from Omaha. Reese strikes out. Second strikeout for George, both coming in this inning. The Red Sox strand a base runner. Inning and a half done. 2-0 Royals. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy, along with Hazel May, back in Kansas City as we head to the last half of the second inning. Joe Randa leading off against Derek Lowe. Randa at 251, 2 homers and 19 runs batted in. Derek Lowe had to throw 23 pitches in the first inning, including the 2-run home run to Mike Sweeney. Gave up 2 hits in the first, had 2 strikeouts. Now to Randa.
You can see too, Don, you know, when a guy's struggling like Lowe is, it almost looks like he's aiming the baseball at home plate instead of just letting it fly.
This one chopped towards McCarty at first. He handles the hop and flips to Derek Lowe for out number 1. The league leaders are brought to you by Volvo, the official vehicle of the Boston Red Sox. And the category is RBI leaders. Well, 9 against the Red Sox in a game last week. He's got 50 on the season. David Ortiz second. Scott Rowland on top of the National League with 57 RBIs. One down for Kelly Stinnett. Oh, spins Stinnett out of there.
Like the ball just slipped out of the hand of Derek Lowe trying to throw the sinker, but it goes up around the shoulder of Kelly Stinnett. Stinnett's done a decent job of filling in for Santiago. He's got 3 home runs in limited playing time.
Last time he started was on Thursday, and he hit a solo home run against the Tigers, 3rd of the season. Hit one on May 9th against the Red Sox, after Benito Santiago had been ejected from that game. Had hits in 10 of 12 starts so far this season for Kansas City, and that backup role for Benito Santiago. Two and two now to Stinnett. Center field, Johnny Damon moving over into left center, and there's two down. Big rangy outfielder here in Kansas City, and boy, Johnny was running all over the place here last night, making some fine catches out there in center field.
I noticed too when they introduced Johnny Damon before the game, for a couple of years it was all boos for Damon when he returned to Kansas City, but today got a pretty good round of applause when he was introduced in the starting lineup for the Red Sox.
Two down for Angel Baroa. 232, 2 homers, and 13 runs batted in for Baroa. Angel Baroa from Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic, 26 years of age. And came to the Kansas City Royals as part of the deal that sent Johnny Damon to Oakland. He was obtained from Oakland with Roberto Hernandez and A.J. Hinch for Johnny Damon and Mark Ellis, and a player to be named later. That deal was made in January 2001. So while some Royals fans harbor some bad thoughts for Johnny Damon, certainly bringing a very good player, the Rookie of the Year, Angel Baroa, here to Kansas City. Reese on a couple of hops at shortstop, throws out Baroa, and 1, 2, 3 go the Royals in the bottom of the second through 2. Kansas City on top 2-0. Top of the third inning back at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. The Royals on top 2-0 as Johnny Damon leads it off. Led off with a double off the wall in right field back in the first inning. As Chris George goes second time through the Red Sox order. Gave up hits to Johnny Damon and a hit to Cesar Crespo. He walked Manny Ramirez. And the Red Sox have stranded 3 base runners through the first 2. Johnny Damon with a lot of 2-strike hits. Back second only to Melvin Mora in that category on the season. Double back in the first inning was also with 2 strikes. Tried to hold up, could not. Foul tips it into the mid of Kelly Stinnett. Third strikeout for Chris George.
Now once George got ahead of Johnny Damon, he tried to go upstairs. One he fouled off. This time it's the foul tip for the strikeout. That's only the 21st time this year that Damon has struck out. He's one of the toughest guys in the league. 2 strikeout.
One down for Kevin Youkilis, who tried to bunt his last time up and try to move the runner along and ended up popping out to the pitcher, Chris George. Last year, Chris George had 18 starts for the Kansas City Royals, finished the year 9-6. Also made 10 starts at AAA Omaha. To center field, Carlos Beltran. Back pedals to make the catch for out number 2. Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by New England Dodge Dealers, by Miller Beer, and by Nissan. So 2 outs here in the top half of the third inning for Chris George, the starting pitcher for the Royals. Complete major league record of 13-18 for George. It's 4-8 in his first season in 2001, coming up with the Royals. Then 0-4 in 2002 and 9-6 last year. One does not have a decision yet this season. This is just his second start since coming up from AAA Omaha. signed with Kansas City after being selected in the middle rounds between the first and second rounds. A sandwich pick, 31st overall, 1998. Turned down a scholarship to Rice University to sign with the Royals. Tomorrow the draft, I think it's got to be coming up here.
Yeah, I think it is, because Brad Mills was talking about it the other day. And, of course, his son has a chance to get drafted in about the 11th or 12th round, they think.
That goes lunging and strikes out. Fourth strikeout for Chris George. 1-2-3 go the Red Sox. Through 2.5, Kansas City on top 2-0. Bottom of the third inning back in Kansas City. The Royals on top 2-0. Derek Lowe has retired 5 in a row after the 2-run home run by Mike Sweeney back in the first inning. And as the Royals on top 2-0. Byron Geddes making a start in left field today for the Royals. And batting ninth. Geddes recording his first major league hit off Brad Radke in the 5th inning as part of a Kansas City 2-1 win over the Minnesota Twins back on May 28th. Softly chopped. Youkilis, the lip of the grass with the throw that's in time to get Geddes. And 6 in a row retired by Lowe.
Well, each time the Red Sox win at Fenway Park, Hood donates $1,500 to the Hood Home Team Advantage charity program. The program benefits children's hospitals throughout New England. It's another reason you can feel good about Hood.
One down. Here's Tony Graffanino. Hit a double back in the first inning. And came around to score on the 2-run home run by Mike Sweeney.
That Byron Geddes, who just hit 9th for the Royals, they say he was a heck of a football player coming out of high school from the St. Louis area. Had a number of scholarship offers to go play football in college.
Falling behind now, 3-0. Derek has not walked anybody so far today through 2 1/3 innings. A strike to make it 3-1 to Graffanino. Originally a 9th-round pick of the Atlanta Braves and moved up to Atlanta in 1996. 3 years with the Braves, 2 with Tampa Bay, and then some time with Chicago as Reese throws out. Tony Graffanino 2 down. Let's check in with Hazel May. Hazel?
Hey, Don, you know, on the front page of one of the local sports publications this morning, there was a photograph of Carlos Beltran. What was up with that? Carlos Beltran was wearing a Boston Red Sox ball cap. Now, the story went on to say that with about 7 weeks until the trade deadline, the Carlos Beltran sweepstakes are heating up, and no less than 6 teams are now interested in the soon-to-be free agent services, including Boston.
The business part, you know, I can't control that, you know, so I just really, you know, gotta leave that in, you know, in the owner's hands, general manager's hands, and the only thing that I can do is, you know, like I said, control what I do inside the lines, and the rest, you know, God controls everything, so I don't really worry about what I'm gonna end up, what's gonna happen. You know, I know next year will be, you know, my free agent year, and, you know, there's been a lot of rumor of me being traded to Boston, Yankees. But, you know, it's nothing. I still with the Kansas City Royals, and I'm going to enjoy playing for the Kansas City Royals.
No wonder this guy's a hot commodity. Beltran is hitting in the 280s. He's got 11 home runs under his belt and 41 RBI. Don, back to you.
All right, Hazel, thank you very much. The 1-2 in there for strike 3 to Carlos Beltran. 3rd strikeout for Derek Lowe, now retired 8 in a row. We played 3. Kansas City on top 2-0. With the Royals on top 2-0 as we get ready for the top of the 4th. It's time now for the Aflac trivia question. Aflac! And our question today, who is the oldest man to catch in a major league game? I have the answer for you in the next half inning. The fountains add something to your music, I think, Jerry.
It's a nice little touch, isn't it?
Yeah. Manny Ramirez to lead it off here in the top of the 4th inning. Ramirez walked in the first inning. walk surrendered today by Chris George, who has 4 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. He's now thrown 44 pitches here today. And brings the 0-1 to Ramirez. And on the hands, and Manny down 0-2.
Ramirez upset about not making good solid contact on that pitch right over the heart of the plate. You can see Manny screaming something out after fouling that back.
And he was 7 home runs and 16 RBIs over the last 16 games. Still first in home runs with 15 on the year, 1 more than Vlad Guerrero, who has 14 for the Anaheim Angels. Albert Pujols, 17 home runs for St. Louis. That just misses to Manny.
I was reading a story on Pujols in the newspaper this morning. I guess his wife gives him batting tips.
Really?
Yeah, she notices when his stance is too wide or too shallow or too close together.
And he turns on this, but sends it foul. Down the left field line, had the distance. Foul ball, 1-2. Ortiz trying to help out Manny from the dugout.
Yeah, Big Papi Ortiz off today. And doing a little cheerleading from the Red Sox dugout. Story about Papi Ortiz. We were on the plane the other night coming from Anaheim to Kansas City, and of course our arrival here was around 5 o'clock, so just before landing Ortiz goes through everybody on the plane, from players to staff to manager to broadcasters, and sprays them with some kind of a what do you call it, cologne?
Yeah.
So when we checked into that hotel at like 5 o'clock, everybody smelled the same. And I couldn't get that smell out of my nose like for 2 days.
I washed my neck like twice, and it still didn't work. It smelled a little bit like off bug spray.
Very expensive stuff. I don't know what it was, but everybody's half asleep laying on the plane. And here he comes. Papi comes up and he's spraying everybody. 2 squirts for everybody. And that plane, it reeked of whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then the same thing on the bus going to a hotel. Can you imagine we checked in, those poor people checking us in and say, man, these guys
They all smell the same.
They all smell the same.
Did it wake you up? I was asleep when he did it to me, and I woke up, and then I all of a sudden realized what was going on.
I was awake.
It off, and the at-bat continues. A lengthy one for Manny Ramirez against Chris George.
Probably ball 4 that Manny swings at there, but does foul it off, and we'll see another pitch.
This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat for Manny Ramirez to lead off the 4th inning. He walked back in the 1st inning. And again, the payoff pitch. This time he walks, 2nd time today, and he down to first base.
Well, we're better than Fenway Park to hold your next party, corporate function, wedding, or any other special event. From the beautiful 406 Club overlooking the field to the green monster seats or the new right field roof, America's most beloved park has several locations ideally suited to meet your needs. For more information, send an email to events@redsox.com.
So Ramirez on. The Red Sox have the lead man on for the 2nd time today in 4 innings. The first time around, Johnny Damon was stranded at first base back in the 1st. The Red Sox have left 3 men on today. Millar popped out to the 2nd baseman, Tony Graffinino, back in the 1st inning.
And the other good part about that spraying we got, I was sitting right in front of Trupiano. Now, Troopy gets squirt with a couple of things. So he's got to stop Ortiz and ask him, well, what model is it? What flavor is that? What, you know, like he's got to screw it out and buy some as soon as we get to Kansas City. So when he comes home today, if he smells different, Mrs. Troop, it comes from David Ortiz.
It's not just bug spray. Fouled off below us. Now, did you like the scent? Because I really didn't, to be honest with you.
It was a little too much, I think, you know. When you can smell, like, even after showering and you can smell it for 2 days,
it's not good.
It's a little strong.
But David seems to enjoy it, and he has plenty of it to share with all of us. Millar takes the 1-2, and it's 2-2 now to Millar. Ramirez at first. Bounces in. Now a full count to Kevin Millar.
Nice job of blocking that ball there by Kelly Stinnett behind the plate. Not an easy one to block. Bounced out in front of home plate. Right up in the chest protected. Doesn't try to catch it, just block it, and that's going to keep Ramirez at first base.
Short lead for Manny, easily able to get back to the bag at first. Manny with 2 walks today. The only 2 walks given up by Chris George so far. Ball for to Millar. Down to first base he goes. All of a sudden now George having some trouble. Back-to-back walks to begin the 4th, and this will bring John Cumberland, the Kansas City pitching coach, out of the Kansas City dugout.
Some of the problems he had in his last outing against the Tigers actually pitched pretty well, with the exception of the 5 walks that he allowed in that game.
So 2 on, nobody out. It brings up Dave McCarty, who struck out looking back in the 2nd inning. George falling behind. 2 career starts previously for George against the Red Sox. 0-2. With a 4.22 earned run average. Last start against the Red Sox was April 29th of last year. Lost 7-2. Royals have only scored 2 runs for George in his 2 starts against the Red Sox, so not much in the way of run support in his 0-for-2 effort against Boston.
He is primed right now to just put it right over the heart of the plate. McCarty in a great hitting situation here.
Strike, and it's 2-1. The year Chris George made his major league debut, he was 21 years of age. That was in 2001 when he broke into the major leagues with Kansas City. Cardi with a half-hearted swing, and it evens up now at 2-2.
Like a little cut fastball this time from George, running down and in on McCarty. Tried to hold up but couldn't do it.
George, an Olympic gold medal winner. He was with the 2000 USA baseball team that, of course, won the gold medal in Sydney. 2-2 again to Dave McCarty. And a full count now. George has walked the first 2 batters of the inning and has gone full here with David McCarty. George has thrown 22 pitches so far in the 4th inning, the most in any inning so far today, and he still has not recorded an out. To center field, Carlos Beltran ranging back with room. Makes the catch for out number 1. Manny's tagging at second. He'll move over to third base. On the long fly ball to center field for Dave McCarty, 1 down.
Another one of those long fly balls to center field in this series that falls short. Beltran going back just in front of the warning track to make the catch on that fly ball. Manny tagging at second base. He'll advance 1 bag and get to third with less than 2 outs. Millar was also tagging at first base. That's why you see Beltran quickly getting that ball in the second.
One away for Gabe Kapler. With Ramirez at third, Millar at first. So shortstop, Baroa touches second, fires on to first for the inning-ending double play. Through 3.5, Kansas City on top 2-0. Bottom of the 4th inning. The Red Sox trailing the Kansas City Royals 2-0. Mike Sweeney, Ken Harvey, and Matt Stairs to face Derek Lowe. In the bottom of the 4th inning, Lowe is now retired 8 Royals in a row.
And you see the hot spots there for Mike Sweeney. He likes that ball up in the zone. And that's where he pitched it. He got when he hit the home run back in the 1st inning.
That in mind, tough to imagine him having that much success against Derek Lowe, and he has over the course of his career, including his 2-run home run back from the 1st inning. Sweeney's 10th home run of the season. The difference in this one with the Royals on top 2-0. 2-1 from Derek Lowe. In the air to shallow right center field. Damon calling and making the catch for out number 1. It's time now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question from an inning ago. Who is the oldest man to catch in a major league game? No, it is not Benito Santiago. It is Jim O'Rourke. He was 54 years young in 1904 for the New York Giants. About the entire 9 innings, was 1 for 4, was scoring a run September 22nd of 1904. Predominantly an outfielder with several National League teams from 1872 to 1893. Had a career .311 average and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1945. All-time games caught. 2 represented today. One's a manager, one's a player still. Tony Pena and Benito Santiago.
So there still is hope. But, 54 years old, catching a game. 2 more years, I might think about a comeback.
That would be fun to watch. Two to Ken Harvey, a strikeout victim back in the 1st inning. 1 of 3 Ks for Derek Lowe today. Up over the mound and through into center field. Breaks up a string of 9 in a row retired by Derek Lowe. The 3rd hit of the day for the Royals. And Harvey with a 15-game hitting streak now as a result of that base hit.
Yeah, when you watch Ken Harvey swing, he's got that high batting average of 374 coming in, but he's got a very compact swing, not a long swing. Doesn't strike out very much, puts the ball in play, and that time picks up the ground ball up the middle for the base hit. 15 straight games now for Harvey.
One out, one on for Matt Stairs, a strikeout victim back in the first inning. Softly rolled towards Crespo. He'll play at second, so he gets Stairs for out number 2. And Ken Harvey up into scoring position with 2 down. He hurt himself?
Hard to tell. I didn't notice anything when he was going into that second base bag. There was going to be no play on him. Take another look as he heads towards second base. I mean, there's no chance for a double play, and I think he knows that because of how soft the ball is hit. Looks like he just went in standing up to second. Maybe he's tired.
Here's Joe Randa, grounded out to first base his first time, and backing up is McCarty. He'll need Lowe. He's there for the out. Another pretty good inning for Derek Lowe. The Royals are gone in the 4th at the end of 4. Kansas City on top 2-0.
Back in Kansas City, Royals have the 2-0 lead as we go to the top of the 5th. So the official Boston Red Sox 2004 pin collection is available now. To order your complete set, call 1-800-422-6216.
Top of the 5th, and Chris George back out on the mound. Walked back-to-back hitters to begin last inning, but got out of the jam. Getting David McCarty to fly out to center field, and got Gabe Kapler to ground into an inning-ending double play. So he has walked 3 today. None have been costly. Cesar Crespo to lead it off here in the top of the 5th inning. Singled out to center field his first time up. Chris George with 4 strikeouts today through the first 4 innings. That first outing against Detroit, his first time out this year after being called up from Omaha. Went 6 2/3 innings and threw 102 pitches. We have 7 hits and 3 runs. He did walk 5 in that first outing for Kansas City. And today so far has walked 3. On the right field line, Stairs ranging over. Down goes Harvey down towards the tarp, but neither has a chance.
Looks like here in Kansas City they have that cork surface in foul territory, but then when you get into the outfield, it looks like real dirt. I think the cork ends right at the line, and I think this area here is real dirt.
Crespo getting the start today at second base. Will be followed by Pokey Reese and Johnny Damon here in the top half of the 5th inning. Foul and out of play off to the right side as Kelly Stinnett gives chase, but back in behind the Royals dugout. Off day tomorrow for the Red Sox, and then interleague play will get underway for the Red Sox against San Diego Padres on Tuesday night. You can join us right here on NESN. Pedro Martinez matched up against David Wells on Tuesday. Strike 3 call. Crespo down by way of the K. 5th strikeout for Chris George. This game summary is brought to you by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. Mike Sweeney with a 2-run home run back in the first inning. His 10th home run of the year. The difference in this one with the Royals on top 2-0. The Red Sox have had their chances. With 2 on and 1 away in the 4th. Chris George was able to get out of a jam after Gabe Kapler grounded into the 6-3 inning-ending double play. And the Red Sox batting here in the top of the 5th inning with 1 down, and Pokey Reese 0 for 1 so far today. Reese a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. One of now 5 strikeouts for Chris George. Softly grounded towards Graffinino. On to Harvey. And there's 2 down in the top half of the 5th inning. The Yankees beating the Texas Rangers today, 2-1 final from the stadium in New York. Red Sox beginning the day 2.5 back of New York, so it stands right now at 3 games.
Well, that was a quick game in New York. We watched the beginning of that here on television in the booth. Yankees had a 1-0 lead at that point. Messina was pitching.
Told him Mariano Rivera picked up his 23rd save in that game. And Messina with the win betters his record to 7-4.
Yankees right now playing without Derek Jeter, who suffered a groin injury, I believe, a couple of games ago.
A strike to Damon to make it 3-1. Quite a day for Nomar Garciaparra in his final rehab stint, it appears, in Toledo. Hit a 2-run double and a home run yesterday as Damon skies one out towards right center field, and it is off the wall again. Damon scampering to second base with his second double of the afternoon. This one comes with 2 down in the 5th.
Yeah, twice today now. Damon not missing home runs by very much. Once again off that wall. Now this ball has got to be hit about 400 feet by Johnny Damon. Damon doing a very good job against left-handed pitching. Came into the game at 253. That's very respectable against lefties. Adds a couple of more hits today.
So 2 down for Kevin Youkilis. 0 for 2 today. Tried to bunt in the first inning and popped out to the pitcher. And then in the 3rd inning, he flied out to center field. Yeah, but Nomar Garciaparra, in his 5th rehab appearance for the Paw Sox last night in Toledo, was 2 for 4 with a 2-run double and a solo home run for Garciaparra. And headed back to Boston to be reevaluated.
Well, I guess everybody figures it's going to be Tuesday night.
Yeah.
When he'll make his first Red Sox appearance. Again, that depends on what the medical staff and Nomar come up with in the next day or so when he gets reevaluated. But no steps backward for him anyway in his rehab, and that's a very positive thing. So hopefully this coming week.
It's maybe kind of an unfair question, but where do you think he should hit in the Red Sox lineup when he comes back? Where do you think he'll hit?
I have no idea, Don. You know, we'll continue that after this inning.
To third, Randa's throw across, and plenty of time to get Youkilis to end the inning. Halfway through this one, Kansas City on top 2-0.
Bottom of the 5th, 2-0 Kansas City. Visit a participating Home Depot location and you can win a road trip of 4 to the Big Apple of Baltimore. Tickets, airfare, accommodations, and more. Or tickets to the September Sox New York Series at Fenway. If you want to catch the Sox, head to the win the Home Depot Boston Red Sox You Can sweepstakes now through July 31st. See participating stores for details.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Kelly Stinnett to lead it off. Derek Lowe is 7 ground ball outs so far through the first 4 innings. And the only blemish, really, the 2-run home run by Mike Sweeney back in the first inning, and it's the difference in this one with the Royals on top 2-0.
Well, Don, you were mentioning where Nomar might hit, and that question was put to Terry Francona a couple of days ago, Friday night. And he said he didn't have an answer for it now until he talks to everybody involved, which would include Nomar and I'm sure Ortiz and Ramirez. Somewhere I think it's going to be that combination of those 3 guys staying together in the lineup. The question is it 2nd, 3rd, 4th? 3rd, 4th, 5th? I'm not sure.
All 4, and Kelly Stinnett headed down to first base. First walk of the day, surrounded by Derek Lowe.
I mean, I think that's what he wants to do, when he was explaining it to us. I mean, I think he wants that combination together. The question is, in what positions are they going to be? And that's something he said he wanted to talk to all people involved before he let the media know what it was going to be. And plus, he didn't want to jump out there, just in case things didn't work out well for Nomar in the last couple of days, which they have.
As I heard you mention in the pregame show, I think it's true that there's still going to be a lot of playing time for the guys that have been filling in the meantime, because you can't expect them to go out there every day coming back.
No, you're not going to see them, I don't think, play 10 straight games. You know, I think that you might see a couple of games a day off, maybe then 3 a day off.
Angel Baroa, the hitter, grounded out to shortstop his first time up.
Now, let's see if Pena does something here with this combination. Baroa at the plate. You don't have speed at first, but you could hit and run.
There he goes, and Baroa swinging away and fouling it off.
Against a sinker ball pitcher like Derek Lowe, a guy that really doesn't strike out very many, and a contact hitter, you know, you play a little hit and run, and Pena tries it there, but Baroa fouls it off.
Sox frustrated with their plate appearances today. 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position on the day for the Red Sox. They have stranded 5 men on through the first 5 innings. Unable to score against Chris George, the starter today for Kansas City so far through the first 5. Back to Lowe, trying to start the double play, throws it low and off the bag, and Pokey Reese almost got taken out. As Stinnett went in hard, and Derek Lowe could have started the double play, but it doesn't work out that way.
No, should have been 2, but if you watch Derek Lowe on this, you'll see he never gets himself in a good position to make the throw to second base. And he's got time. This ball gets back on him in a hurry. One big high bounce, but there, he throws it too low to Pokey Reese, hits off the bag. You know, actually, his positioning was not that bad. He did get kind of lined up towards second, but just didn't make a good throw. And that's going to go as an error on Derek Lowe. That could be a big play.
Well, instead of the 2 outs, now Kansas City with runners at first and second and nobody out. Thanks to a walk-in and error, and here's Byron Geddes, grounded out to third base his first time up. It's things like this that have started some pretty big innings against Derek Lowe. When the frustration starts to mount, you can kind of point to one thing that has kind of set him off in some of those innings.
And here you got to watch out for anything, Don. You know, they sacrificed on the first attempt. It's quite possible Pena could switch at some point and put on the hit and run with men at first and second. And if it's going to happen, it might happen on the 2-0 count. 2 attempts at a bunt and not close to being a strike. Tony mentioned a couple of nights ago on Friday night he wants to force the action a lot more than they have early in the season.
Not showing bunt that time, and now he's ahead 3-0. Number 9 hitter Byron Geddes with a 3-0 count. Taking a strike. 3-1 now to Geddes. Tony Graffinino, the top of the Kansas City order, waiting on deck. Stinnett at second, Baroa at first, nobody out. Chopped outside at third and foul, and a full count now to Geddes.
Well, we'll see if the runners are off here now on the 3-2 count. They've got to have contact if they're going to do that. As Anastasio Martinez starts to loosen up. You've got to have contact because you do not have speed at second base.
Now the 3-2 pitch from Derek Lowe. Grounded to shortstop. Pokey Reese to second for one. They do get the put out at first base on the transfer. Crespo dropping it. And Geddes to reach to first base. Kelly Stinnett to third. The force out of Burrow at second base, and there's one away.
I'll tell you, on first look, I wasn't quite sure that Crespo had control of this ball. Let's take another look. The second base for the force. I'm not sure he ever had control of that ball in his glove. As he tried to make the transfer, that's when it popped out of his hand. That was very close.
He gets the benefit of the doubt from Joe West, the second base umpire.
I think the Red Sox might have got a break on that, Don.
So one down, runners at the corners. Tony Graffinino, the hitter, 1 for 2. Well, if he did juggle it, which it appeared he might have done, and never really had control of it, at least the glove was blocking that view for Joe West.
Yeah, you're right. And you know, it looked like the ball was juggling in his glove before he even got it into the throwing hand.
To McCarty, who tags the bag at first, but in from third comes Stinnett with the third Kansas City run, and the Royals lead it 3-0. Graffinino retired 1-3 as it turns out, as it kicked off Lowe and went right to McCarty at first.
Well, Derek Lowe seems to be okay. Dave Wallace is going to come out to check. That ball hit him right off the foot. And then the bounce off the foot right to David McCarty. That's also a break for the Red Sox. They do give up a run here, but this ball could have been up the middle for a base hit, or it could have just deflected somewhere else. Instead, it goes right to McCarty for the out. I could have said David McCarty, pretty nice play on that. That ball had a lot of spin on it.
RBI for Tony Graffinino. He grounds out. Stinnett scored from third. 3-0 Kansas City on top. Byron Geddes in scoring position at second base with 2 down now. And here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran 0 for 2. He grounded out to second base in the first inning and went looking in the third inning. Behind 2-0, and he wants to do baseball. 319 with runners in scoring position and 4 out of his last 5. Beltran was 0 for 4 here yesterday, which snapped a 7-game hitting streak for him, and so far 0 for 2 on the afternoon. 3-0 now.
Beltran might have the green light here, 3-0.
Takes the strike, and it's 3-1. It would have been a pretty good pitch to work with.
If he did have it, he had a good pitch.
The strike hand, a full count now.
3-1 changeup there for Derek Lowe to run the count full.
Red Sox with now double-barreled action in the bullpen. Oh, the long pause and the 3-2. Left-hander has joined Anastasio Martinez in the Red Sox bullpen as Lenny DiNardo gets up. Swing and a miss. Lowe comes back to strike out Carlos Beltran, but Kansas City adds a run at the end of 5. Royals on top 3-0.
5 complete, 3-0 Kansas City. The Red Sox and Nesson have teamed up to bring Red Sox games live in high definition to the big screen. This Tuesday's game with the Padres kicks off a series of Sox games that will be shown live at selected showcase cinemas in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Tickets are just $5 each, with a portion benefiting the Red Sox Foundation. Log on to redsox.com for more information.
Top of the 6th inning. Chris George back out there for the 6th, and Jason Varitek leading it off. George with 86 pitches, 53 for strikes as he works here into the 6th inning. His longest inning was the 4th inning when he threw 24 pitches but got out of the inning unscathed. He's worked the shutout through the first 5 innings today for Kansas City in just his 2nd start of the year. Strike to Varitek makes it 1-2. Jason in the 3 spot in the order today for the Red Sox, 0 for 2 with a ground out to second base, and he struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Softly rolled foul outside of 3rd.
Well, the Red Sox recently have the benefit of a few extra days off. They had one before this series, of course, one tomorrow at home before the San Diego series starts, and then they have one the following Monday before they head out to Colorado.
Inside, George thought he had strike 3, but instead it evens up now at 2-2 to Varitek. Count now. George with 3 walks on the day so far. He struck out 5. And ball 4 to Varitek. So the Red Sox, with their 4th walk of the day, is down to first base goes Varitek to lead off the 6th inning.
The inning, the Red Sox have to change momentum in this game. They get Varitek, Ramirez, Millar, McCarty coming up. Left-hander may be getting a little fatigued. Very warm day here in Kansas City. Not so much temperature-wise, but very humid.
Manny Ramirez has walked twice today and has seen 16 pitches from Chris George. And 6 pitches in his first at-bat, and then had a 10-pitch at-bat, which also led to a base on ball. So. And he's been on twice, both times walking today, and Stinnett out to talk to Chris George. And John Cumberland, the pitching coach for the Royals, on the phone with the Royals bullpen. Looks like somebody's going to get up down there for the first time today. Strike to make it 1-1.
Very generous outside corner there from Terry Kraft.
George has gone to 3 balls with 6 of the last 9 Red Sox hitters. He's had to go deeply into counts lately. Jason Grimsley up in that Kansas City bullpen. Varitek at first. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. And the 1-2 to Manny Ramirez. Same general area, but this time it's not a strike, and it's 2-2.
Exactly right. That last strike that was called on Ramirez was almost the exact same pitch as this pitch.
And instead of holding it there for that extra second.
It looks like he had to reach out just a little bit to catch that, and that might have been the difference.
And he drives it in the air to right center field. Back goes Beltran and Stairs, and it'll be Stairs who had to make a late adjustment on the run shy of the track for out number 1. And Varitek back to the bag at first.
Kind of strange. Yeah, it looked like a play that Beltran would take charge of out in center field, but he just let Stairs run the extra distance to make the play. The wind's blowing that direction too. It's blowing back towards center field. And it looked like it might have been an easier play for Carlos Beltran. The ball's hit high enough where he had plenty of time to get over there and get it. But he's just kind of cruising after it, and he's leaving it up to his right fielder, who had to go hard to make that play.
Well, Chris George last time out threw 102 pitches, and he's now up to 97 in this outing. In his second outing of the season, dealing with Kevin Millar now. Millar has popped out to second base and walked. Sox have been 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position on the day. They have stranded 5 men on through the first 5. And had a chance to get to George right out of the gate in the first inning. Johnny Damon doubled to begin the game. Was left at third base for the Red Sox in the first. The Red Sox stranded 2 in the first inning. Pitch, ball 4 to Millar, and the 5th walk given up by George to match the 5 that he gave up in his first outing. But so far today, the Red Sox have not had him pay for any of the walks, as 2 have walked here in the inning.
That could be it for him. Yeah, here comes Pena out. He's got Grimsley, the right-hander, loose, and McCarty coming up.
So Chris George, who has pitched shutout baseball here into the 6th inning, will leave with 2 on and 1 away. Tony Pena going to the bullpen for Grimsley. 3-0 Kansas City on top. Back in Kansas City with the Royals on top 3-0 in a pitching change for Kansas City after the starter Chris George. 101 pitches today, working 5 1/3 innings. Not rendering a run yet, but responsible for the 2 men on. He has walked 5 as well as striking out 5. And he turns things over to the bullpen and a right-hander, Jason Grimsley.
27th appearance for Grimsley. You can see by the numbers that he's had a pretty good season for him. His second outing of this series in game 1, he worked a third of an inning that game. No hits, no runs. McCarty 3 for 8 in his career against Grimsley. I thought we might see Ortiz come to play in this situation.
David had a bat too, and he was walking towards the end of the dugout, and Terry Francona had a bit of an exchange with him, talking to him maybe with the plans later perhaps, or at least letting David Ortiz know why he isn't coming up here to pinch hit in the inning. And instead, David McCarty stands in 0 for 2 today. A strikeout in the second, flied out to center field in the 4th inning. A tying run at the plate here for the Red Sox in the top half of the 6th inning. And today, the Red Sox 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Varitek at second now, with Millar at first and 1 down. To McCarty.
There's also the possibility you could see Ortiz hit the Kapler, who is on deck.
And move McCarty to right field.
Yeah. Problem is, if you get a ground ball double play, you don't see Ortiz in this inning.
3-0 now to McCarty. Jason Grimsley, 36 years of age, from Lafayette, Louisiana. Pitches he throws, all balls to load the bases, and on 3 walks this inning, the Red Sox have him loaded with 1 down.
And now you will see David Ortiz as he comes out of that dugout to hit for Gabe Kapler.
Kapler had been 0 for 2 today with a line out and a ground out into a double play. Ortiz hitting for Kapler. And of course, David Ortiz got the Red Sox off on the right foot last night with a 2-run home run to put the Red Sox on top 2-0. The first of 3 2-run home runs for the Red Sox. As part of their victory here last night behind the good pitching from Kurt Schilling. So Ortiz the pinch hit overall at .271, 12 homers and 49 runs batted in. Royals pitchers have now gone at least to a 3-ball count to 9 of the last 12 hitters. And 6 walks offered up by the Royals pitching staff today. Another ball to David Ortiz.
The numbers for Ortiz with the bases loaded so far this season as a pinch hitter. David 0 for 2.
And Ortiz has the only Red Sox grand slam this season. A strike to make it 1-1. Jimmy Serta up in the bullpen. Ortiz's grand slam, 828th against Seattle at home at Fenway Park. Two and one now to Ortiz. Veritek at third, Millar at second, David McCarty at first. 1 out in the inning. Grimsley's had trouble since coming on.
Yeah, for the most part, Don hasn't even been close to finding the strike zone. Not even something tempting for the hitters to swing at.
Grimsley now in his 4th season with Kansas City. On the ground and through into right field. From third comes Veritek. Millar will be stopped. The run in for the Red Sox. David Ortiz, an RBI single to right, has Boston on the board. Now down 3-1.
Well, Ortiz finds that hole between first and second. I thought Millar was going to be able to score from second base on this, but he gets the stop sign from Dale Swain. It looked like a base hit that was going to drive in 2, but station to station for the Red Sox.
So still 1 down. The base is reloaded, and here is Cesar Crespo. Ortiz driving in another run, now tied with Vladimir Guerrero with 50 on the season. Crespo 1 for 2, a single to center in the second, a strikeout looking in the 5th. And he turns around now to bat from the left side against the right-hander Jason Grimsley.
Remember, Mark Bellhorn unavailable today, at least to start the game, because of a virus. Wow.
Nice play by Stinnett.
Yeah, nice. Backhanded play, saved the run. Although in this park, you never know. That backstop's not very far from home plate.
Millar at third, McCarty at second, Ortiz at first with 1 away. Softly grounded to first base. Harvey is coming home, and he throws it into the pitcher.
Wow.
Oh, my. Grimsley is dropped, and Harvey is down as well as Millar will score. And everybody checking on them here. Wow.
I have never seen that done in a game of baseball before. Harvey was going to throw home and just drills Grimsley with his arm or the ball, one of the two, and both guys down on the ground. Here's another look. Well, now George is definitely going to come. Harvey's going to come home with this throw, and he throws it right into the face, it looks like, of Jason Grimsley. Wow.
And both still down. Grimsley moving around now, coming up to his knees. A great sight there to see him hop up. After being down face first for a long time.
Now Grimsley got it right in the face, and it looked like Harvey is right arm or right shoulder. He might have got part of the baseball and part of also the fist of Ken Harvey on that.
Another look at it here. Wow.
I mean, that's like taking a punch from Mike Tyson or something. I mean, just drop them.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I have never seen that.
And a fielder's choice and an RBI, as Grimsley will walk off, fortunately. And Harvey will go as well. So both players will be leaving the game here for Kansas City, and both walking off on their own power. So Kansas City will be bringing on some replacements here. The Red Sox back within a run. Will step aside and come back with more.
Well, back in Kansas City, certainly a strange turn of events here at Kauffman Stadium. Now the Red Sox trail it only by 1, 3-2, and one of the most strange plays you'll ever see, as Ken Harvey at first base is going to go home for a force out and throws the ball in hand directly into the face of Jason Grimsley. They both drop. Grimsley down to the ground, and Harvey also going down with apparently a right arm injury. Both have left the field under their own power, which is certainly good news. But I don't think I have ever seen that before in the game of baseball.
Certainly seen enough pitchers get hit on the throw down to second base, but from that range, unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, that's taken a direct hit for Jason Grimsley.
So Kansas City now with some defensive changes. As Desi Relaford takes over in right field now for Kansas City for Matt Stairs. And apparently Stairs went down into the clubhouse to get a first baseman's mitt. He will return here and take first base here for Kansas City and replace Ken Harvey. Stairs coming in from right field to first. The pitcher will be Jaime Cerda, the third of the day for Kansas City.
Cerda making his second appearance of the series. He worked on Friday, pitched an inning, allowing a hit and no runs. Has 9 scoreless outings in his last 10 appearances for a 1.04 ERA. Overall on the season, opponents only hitting .203 off Jaime Cerda.
So Jason Grimsley still responsible for the men on. Didn't get anybody out. A hit, a walk, no strikeouts. The starting pitcher Chris George has been touched for 2 runs. Inherited runners allowed to score by Jason Grimsley. Of the Red Sox back within a run. The bases loaded. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Pokey Reese sold for 2 today. David McCarty at third, David Ortiz at second base, and Cesar Crespo at first.
Well, one thing you know about Jason Grimsley, he can take a punch and get off the canvas.
Yes, he can. Up and away, and it's now 2-1 against Annette. Having to come out of the crouch that time. Serta had been up in the bullpen as Grimsley was having some trouble. Serta had been up behind him in the pen. Tardy on the cut. And it's 2-2 now to Pokey Reese. Amy Serta, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, from Selma, California, was acquired by the Royals from the New York Mets this past off season. Parts of 2 seasons for Serta in the major leagues with the New York Mets. Last year, 1-1 with the Mets and 27 appearances out of the bullpen, a 5.85 ERA. 2-2, lifted into short right and in for a hit. From third comes Dave McCarty with the tying run, and the Red Sox have tied it up 3-3. Pokey Reese with an RBI single to tie the game.
Very protective swing by Pokey Reese with 2 strikes, trying to stay away from the strikeout, and just flicks that ball up over the head of Grampanino for the base hit. Pokey driving in his 21st run of the season. So this mess for the Royals all started with a couple of walks. Grimsley added to the walk total, and then the very strange play at first base. Now the bloop base hit. We're all tied up.
3 walks in the inning for Kansas City pitching. They have all scored. Bases loaded. And there's still just 1 out in the inning. Johnny Damon 2 for 3 today. A couple of doubles. He's hit the wall twice today. Eighth man to bat here in the top of the 6th inning for Boston. Line, a fair ball down the line in right field. Here comes Ortiz. Crespo coming around. Pokey Reese will be stopped at third. 2 runs in, and the Red Sox lead it 5-3 on the 3rd double of the day for Johnny Damon. A 5-run top of the 6th so far for Boston.
Once again, a line drive off a left-hander for Johnny Damon, just over the glove of Matt Steers at first base. Jaime Serta with the fastball up a little bit. The line drive over Steers, and a couple of runs for the Red Sox. Big inning for Boston. Now the infield will have to come in for the Kansas City Royals with Youkilis at the plate.
9th man to bat for the Red Sox. Kansas City's infield brought in. Youkilis 0 for 3 today. Popped out to the pitchers, fly to center, and is grounded out to third base. Stinnett racing back, but he'll run out of real estate back into the seats. Grimsley faced 3 batters. He walked McCarty, gave up the single, pinch hit single to David Ortiz, and then Crespo reached on the fielder's choice. All 3 of them have scored as well in this 5-run top of the 6th inning for Boston. Action for Tony Pena. Scott Sullivan's up in the Kansas City bullpen.
There's action in the Red Sox bullpen too. It looks like Mike Timlin, been a long time for Derek Lowe sitting in that dugout, and just in case, if he does come out, you have somebody ready if he's not sharp.
A strike to Youkilis, and it's 1-2 now to Kevin Youkilis. There's Timlin up in the bullpen. Lowe has worked the first 5 innings today, giving up 3 runs, 4 strikeouts, and a walk today. Youkilis drives it foul down the left field line, back and out of play.
Almost 30 minutes now the Red Sox have been hitting here in the 6th inning.
0-2 now to Youkilis. All started with a walk to Jason Varitek. Manny Ramirez flying out to right field, then walks to Millar and McCarty. The Red Sox have scored 5 times so far here in the top of the 6th. Still just 1 out. 2 in scoring position. And the 2-2 to Youkilis. A full count now.
That's talking about Don in the open. He puts a tough at bat on you. You know, he's got a couple of men in scoring position. He doesn't chase bad pitches. Run this count again to 3-2.
Youkilis with a check swing. Foul ball down the right field line. Started fair, but just kept bending away. And it ends up foul. Full count to Youkilis. First base open. Jason Varitek waiting on deck. Inside, he walks him. The 4th walk of the inning surrendered by Kansas City pitching. And the Red Sox reloading the bases here with still just 1 out in the inning.
Now there's a great example from Youkilis of what we've been talking about, putting together good tough at bats. I mean, fouled off a couple of pitches, ran the count deep, 3-2, eventually draws the walk to load the bases.
So the Red Sox have batted around. Jason Varitek got it all started with a walk to begin this inning. And he'll be batting with the bases loaded and still just 1 out in the inning. Sullivan appears to be ready should they want to go to him in the bullpen. The right-hander's been up and warming, just kind of looking on now from the Kansas City pen.
Probably there for Manny Ramirez, Don.
Manny waiting on deck as Varitek stands in on the right side. 0 for 2 today with a walk. And couldn't hold up that time. Varitek grounding out to second base in the 1st inning. Struck out swinging in the 3rd. Walked and scored here in the 6th inning. Down 0-2.
Back-to-back changeups from Serta on the first 2 pitches to Varitek.
Just a .232 hitter with the bases loaded for Jason Varitek. Has never hit a grand slam in his career. Reaches out and grounds it softly towards short. Moreau to second for 1 on to first. A double play. Double play ends the inning, but the damage has been done. Red Sox sent 10 men to the plate, score 5 times, and lead it 5-3. Back in Kansas City in a different looking score now with the Red Sox on top 5-3, scoring 5 times in the top half of this inning. David McCarty moves from first base to right field defensively for the Red Sox. And after the pinch hit RBI single for David Ortiz, he stays in the game and plays at first base. And the Red Sox have changed pitchers as we head to the last of the 6th. Mike Timlin into the game.
26th appearance of the season for Timlin. Opponent sitting 222 off Mike. He worked last night against Kansas City. Pitched an inning in that game. No hits, no runs, no errors, no walks, no strikeouts. And I figured this was going to happen, Don. You know, Derek Lowe with the 5 innings of pretty good pitching today, but it was a very long, over 30 minutes, that he was sitting in that dugout. And I think Terry Francona was afraid to run him back out there after that long stretch.
Lowe throwing 84 pitches today, 48 for strikes. And the Nissan pitching line.
Plus, the Red Sox can go through that bullpen today. They do have the off day tomorrow.
3 runs, 2 of them earned today for Derek Lowe, as he made an error back in the 5th inning, his own error, but of course the run is unearned. So 3 runs, 2 earned, walked 1, struck out 4, and has the chance today to pick up his 5th win of the year if the bullpen can help him out. As we head to the last half of the 6th inning with the Red Sox now on top 5-3. The tough part of the Kansas City order coming up. Mike Sweeney would have been Ken Harvey. But it'll be Desi Relaford now and then Matt Stairs. As Sweeney, the DH, 1 for 2, a 2-run home run back in the first inning. Line to left, Millar moving over and on the run makes a good running grab for out number 1. Let's check in with Hazel May. Hazel?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Phil Davies. Phil, where are you from?
West Roxbury.
Now, Phil is our Ford fan of the game because if you check out the sign, frankly, I don't think we've had a ninja as the fan Ford of the game. What is a ninja?
I don't know how many times, Hazel, I have to tell the people at home that I'm a ninja, but right now, they know. Back in God's country. At the Corb Road race.
And what's the deal with the Fu Manchu real quick?
It's not coming off until the Sox win the series. Oh, my wife has a baby. Who knows what's going to happen first? You never know with the Sox.
There you go. And you got a quick message for Rem. Let's hear it.
Rem Dog, tell Eric to stay on vacation. Hazel's doing a fine job.
Back to you guys. I need to pay this guy some money.
All right, Hazel May, thank you very much.
I'm sure the E-Man heard that.
Yes.
We don't have to pass that along.
One away for Desi Relaford, who comes in for Ken Harvey, who left the game with an apparent arm injury. And the collision at first base for Jason Grimsley and Ken Harvey. Relaford playing yesterday, back in there today now. Let's say fly ball down the left field line. Millar running into foul ground to make the catch for out number 2. Millar having to run all over the place this inning is taking care of the first 2 outs. So 2 down to bring up Matt Stairs. Stairs a strikeout swinging back in the first inning, grounded out to second base in the 4th inning. Timlin retiring Sweeney and Relaford for the first 2 outs of the inning. Stairs grounds to second. Crespo on to Ortiz, and Timlin with a 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th inning. At the end of 6, the Red Sox on top 5-3. On to the top of the 7th inning. Red Sox on top 5-3. And Kansas City will employ their 4th pitcher of the day, right-hander Scott Sullivan.
Scott Sullivan, and I'm sure his friends call him Sully, making his 22nd appearance of the year, 2nd of this series. On Friday night, 2/3 of an inning against the Red Sox. Had a couple of walks and a strikeout in that ball game. Everybody's named Sullivan's nickname Sully, right?
I would think so.
Yeah,
Every
my high
Sullivan
school,
I know is a
high
Sully.
school baseball coach was Jim Sullivan. He was Sully.
Seven walks given up today by the Kansas City Royals pitching staff. 2 to Manny Ramirez. 0 for 1 with a fly out to the track in right field. Sends this to deep left center field. Back and over comes Byron Geddes to make the catch for out number 1. Ramirez retired for the 2nd time today. So 1 down, and it brings up Kevin Millar. He also has walked twice today. Pulled on the first one, out ahead.
Well, at least with the off day tomorrow, we get to watch the NHL Finals.
Yeah, great game.
Will somebody finally win at home? Is that going to happen in this series?
No. We'll be ready for Game 7 tomorrow night, and the Paw Sox are on Nesson tomorrow night too, Jerry, so you can check that out as well. They'll take on Louisville.
I'll be bouncing back and forth. There's no question about that.
2 to Millar, up and away, and it's 1-2. fouls it off the right side.
Actually, I might get another TV for tomorrow night.
You're going to double up?
Yeah, I might get 2 big screen TVs and have Nesson. Nesson's usually always on in my house anyway. I really need another TV just so I could watch some of the hockey games. So I can, instead of, pitcher and pitching, have 2 big TVs.
It'll be quite a night at the Remy house tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll be the only one sitting there watching anything, that's for sure.
Swing and a miss, and Millar strikes out. Quickly 2 down here in the top half of the 7th inning.
Now, Sullivan in that first outing had some control problems, walked a couple of guys, but no control problems so far. Throws that fastball right by Kevin Millar for the strikeout. Sidearm delivery from Scott Sullivan.
A 5-run top of the 6th inning for the Red Sox. It's the 11th time that they've scored 5 or more runs in an inning this season, and the 5th time that it's taken place on the road. A big 5-run 6th inning has the Red Sox on top 5-3.
Actually, I need 3 TVs tomorrow. CSI Miami's on too.
Oh, really? You got a whole host of problems tomorrow. To third, a tough hop. Randa's got it, and the throw across the diamond in time to get McCarty. Red Sox down in order again. The 7th inning stretch time. Red Sox on top 5-3.
7th inning stretch in Kansas City. The Red Sox have got the 5-3 lead. Stay tuned after the game for New England's Red Sox postgame show. First, it's W.B. Mason's extra innings, then Granite City Electric extra innings extra. After the last inning, the action is just beginning. Tom Caron in studio today with Sam Horn alongside.
Well, on 6 pitches last inning, Mike Timlin retired the Kansas City Royals in order. And he's back out there again for the last half of the 7th inning. It'll be Joe Randa, Kelly Stinnett, and Angel Baroa scheduled to face Mike Timlin. Timlin came into the game after Derek Lowe gave the Red Sox 5 innings today. 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned runs. Lowe walked 1 and struck out 4. And now Timlin into his 2nd inning of relief as Joe Randa stands in 0 for 2 today. Hits against Timlin for Randa, one of them a home run. Mentioned that there's a lot of interest in Carlos Beltran. There are some teams interested in Joe Randa. Randa has a no-trade clause in his contract. It said today in the local papers that the Royals have not come to him with any possible trades as of yet. 20-33 coming into today's action. They find themselves 10 games behind the White Sox. In the American League Central, the White Sox with a 2-game lead over the Twins. Left center field, Johnny Damon got a good jump and runs it down. Nicely done by Johnny Damon into left center for out number 1.
He's made some very good plays in this series, and you're exactly right, Don. He got a great jump on that line drive. It sounded like it was toward the end of the bat of Randa, and sometimes Randa, I should say. Sometimes that fools the outfielder. But Damon got a perfect jump and makes the play going away.
So 1 down, and it brings up Kelly Stinnett. At 34 years of age. Last year with both the Reds and the Philadelphia Phillies. 60 games with the Reds, 7 with the Phillies. Traded by the Reds to the Phillies for a player to be named later, and then signed by the Royals during this last offseason as a free agent. Field. David McCarty's first try makes the catch for out number 2.
Who's doing that game at Pawtucket tomorrow? Is that Eric Fried?
Tom Caron tomorrow.
TC tomorrow?
Yeah, I think with Bob Tewksbury tomorrow night. the game that I think you offered us up to do.
Yeah, what happened?
7th game. I don't know what happened. I guess they didn't want us.
No, didn't want us. Okay. Yeah, we had a nice off night. We could have gone down and did a nice Pawtucket game, but leave it in the hands of TC. They do a great job.
Two down. Baroa, the batter, reached on an errors last time up. 0 for 2 today. By a fan up in the upper deck. That foul ball off to the right.
Just heard a report come over the loudspeaker here that I think that Grimsley has been taken to the hospital for x-rays on his right jaw and left forearm.
Is there anything on Ken Harvey?
Harvey, I believe, is his right wrist. In his forearm area. It was almost like throwing a punch at Grimsley. It was unbelievable.
To right field, McCarty on the move. Gets there. A sinking line drive picked by David McCarty in right. Another 1-2-3 inning for Mike Timlin. We played 7. Red Sox on top 5-3. Top half of the 8th inning back in Kansas City. David Ortiz to lead it off. Then Cesar Crespo and Pokey Reese expected here in the 8th inning. Red Sox on top 5-3. And Scott Sullivan back on the hill for the Royals. Ortiz after the first pitch. Graffinino in short right. 1 away. So since Sullivan has come on, and he came on to begin the 7th inning, he's retired 4 Red Sox in a row. The 4th Kansas City pitcher of the day. We've seen Chris George for 5 1/3, Jason Grimsley for plus innings, Jaime Cerda for 2/3, and Scott Sullivan back out there for his 2nd inning of relief. Crespo trying to bunt his way on, fouls it off in behind him.
Times when you're bunting down and you're trying to drag that ball down between first and second, you time it on a fastball. This is an off-speed pitch that's going to throw his timing off. Hard to tell where he was trying to go with that, whether he was trying to hook it down first or slap it to a third.
Check swing foul back to the backstop has Crespo down 0-2. The fastest, the official word, Harvey and Grimsley have been taken to St. Luke's Hospital. A nearby hospital. Harvey's wrist and forearm being x-rayed, and Grimsley's jaw and left forearm being checked.
Hopefully they're taking separate ambulances over there. You want to keep those guys away from each other for a while.
Strikes out. Sullivan with his 2nd strikeout, and there's 2 down here in the 8th.
Well, I think, Don, I couldn't tell. I mean, it looked like he did release that baseball and also got him with the fist, all 2.
I thought the high first angle had the best shot, as this one is grounded through the left side into left field. A 2-out single for Pokey Reese.
Pokey Reese picks up his 2nd hit, 2 for 4. He's also driven in a run in this game.
So single to left for Reese, his 2nd hit today. That's back up to the top of the order for Johnny Damon.
Pokey might be going here 2 outs. If he can get a good jump, he may attempt the stolen base.
Damon today with 3 doubles. The last one to drive in 2 runs. Most he's ever hit in a game is 4, doing it as a member of these Kansas City Royals. Red Sox out hitting Kansas City 7-3. Derek Lowe over 5 innings, giving up just 3 hits to the Royals since Mike Timlin has been on, and that's been 2 innings. Timlin's been perfect, facing 6 Kansas City hitters and retiring them all.
It looks like he's going to come out too for the 8th because there's nobody throwing in the bullpen right now.
Two and 1 now to Johnny Damon. Pitches so far for Mike Timlin, 12 for strikes over his 2 innings of relief so far for the Red Sox, and looks like Timlin will be working some more here today. Takes off, bluffs, and then retreats as this one's grounded foul outside of first.
It's like Pokey wanted to go on that 2-1 count, but didn't feel like he had a good enough jump to continue on to second base. Here you see the jump from Pokey Reese, just a couple of steps and stops.
To Damon. Reese doesn't go, and this one gets away. Reese up to second. He's rounding and heading for third. Pokey Reese to third base.
That'll be a wild pitch. That ball bounced off the mask of catcher Kelly Stinnett and ran all the way back to the on-deck circle for Kansas City. And Pokey Reese, Stinnett having a tough time finding it right away. Now Reese slows up a little bit around second. He's got his eye on that baseball the whole time and now knows he can make it into third base. Not even a throw.
So another run just 90 feet away for the Red Sox with 2 down. Johnny Damon has 3 hits today. Hard hit, backhanded at first by Stairs. He's got a race to the bag, and he does just get there ahead of Johnny Damon to end the top of the 8th. Red Sox strand Reese at third. We head to the bottom of the 8th. 5-3 Boston.
Back in Kansas City, Red Sox have the 5-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. In addition, the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Mike Timlin out there for his 3rd inning of relief. At least to begin the inning anyways. He's worked 2 perfect innings. The Red Sox have double-barreled action. Both Alan Embry and Keith Polk up in the Boston bullpen. As we head to the last half of the 8th inning, Byron Geddes to lead it off for Kansas City, the number 9 hitter. And Tony Graffinino and Carlos Beltran expected in the inning. It is 0 for 2 from the number 9 spot in the order. Softly chopped down the third base line. A fair ball. The throw from Youkilis in time. Nicely picked on the other side by David Ortiz for out number 1.
Boy, nice play on both ends. I mean, that ball hugging the line. Youkilis goes to the backhand and realizes he's got to rush to get rid of this ball. Geddes has pretty good speed. And down at the other end, Big Poppy with the big scoop. Right over that third base bag. Quick release. And Ortiz with the backhanded scoop at first base. Red Sox get the out call.
So Timlin, with a little help from his friends, is now retired 7 Kansas City hitters in a row. There's Tony Graffinino, who doubled back in the first inning. Raffanino coming up with the Atlanta Braves. Majors. Now 31 years of age. First year in the big leagues for him with Atlanta, 1996. 3 years in Atlanta, 2 in Tampa Bay. And the last 4 seasons as a member of the Chicago White Sox. To third, Youkilis with an easier play. The result the same, and there's 2 down.
Now, Don, I can't say enough about Youkilis. You know, I had not heard very much about it. Matter of fact, all I'd heard from some scouts who cover the minor leagues is that they were not that impressed. I have been nothing but impressed at the big league level with every phase of his game. Solid defensively down at third base. I know it's early. I know he hasn't played a lot of games, but he's done a heck of a job down there.
There's Carlos Beltran with 2 down in the inning. Beltran 0 for 3 so far today with a couple of strikeouts, also a ground out.
Think about the left side of the infield where you have Garcia Parra out, you have Bill Miller out, and you replace him with Pokey Reese and Kevin Youkilis, and both have certainly held their own defensively, in particular Pokey Reese, but even Kevin Youkilis since being put in there at third base.
Center field, Damon started, then stopped, then starts again. He's got time to camp underneath and handles out number 3. What a job today from Mike Timlin. 3 perfect innings. We head to the 9th, 5-3 Red Sox. Back in Kansas City, Red Sox on top 5-3 as we head to the top half of the 9th inning. The Royals will bring on their 5th pitcher of the day, Curtis Leskonic.
At one time was the closer on this club, but he did struggle in that role in 13 1/3 innings. Walks had been a problem. 12 walks and 13 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .311 off Leskonic.
Takes over for Scott Sullivan, who pitched the 7th and 8th innings today. 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 2. Youkilis leads it off. Kevin's 0 for 3 today with a walk. Down the right field line, back and out of play, and it's 0-2 to Youkilis. Will be followed by Jason Varitek and Manny Ramirez here in the Boston 9th inning. After 3 shutout innings from Mike Timlin on 26 pitches, folks still up in the Red Sox bullpen. Lowe today to the starter for the Red Sox. Went the first 5 innings, giving up 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs. Lowe walked 1, struck out 4, and threw 84 pitches today. And then Mike Timlin on 26 pitches, retired all 9 Royals that he faced. One and 2 now to Youkilis. Foul down the first baseline. Matt Stairs with a long run, but he won't get there down by the tarp area.
Well, we saw that top out briefly yesterday prior to the game, but not a long delay, only about 30 minutes, which is good news. Every now and then, this time of year especially, some of those nasty thunderstorms come through the area, but has not been the case this weekend.
Yesterday, just a 22-minute rain delay to begin the game, but really not much of a factor here last night. It was an early start time anyway. $22,964 on hand here for the 3rd game of the series, and definitely the least amount of paying customers here today in Kansas City. The 3 games. Youkilis strikes out. Upset with himself as he strikes out for out number 1 to begin the ninth. This game summary is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. We take a look at what is now the Red Sox 9. David Ortiz coming into the game late. 1 for 2 with an RBI. And quite a day for Johnny David at the top of the Red Sox order. 3 for 5 with 3 doubles. And the third double able to drive in a pair of runs. Part of a 5-run top of the 6th inning for the Red Sox that has Boston on top 5-3. Jason Varitek with a walk in the 6th inning. He's 0 for 3 today. Carves that foul back and out of play, and it's 0-2.
Mentioned earlier, Don, how it's humid here in Kansas City. I think I played one of the hottest games ever in this ballpark when they had the artificial surface here.
Is that the doubleheader?
Yes. We had a twilight doubleheader that started, I think, about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And that first game, it was absolutely burning up. And in those days, with the artificial surface, I mean, that you'd have to go in the dugout between and just put your foot in ice, keep, just so they wouldn't burn up. Then they had some thunderstorms come through, and it cooled down nicely for the second game. But man, I'll tell you, that was brutal.
Varitek strikes out back-to-back strikeouts for Lascano, and there's 2 away for Manny Ramirez. One of the things, I know it's better obviously to play on the grass, and that was definitely the way they wanted to go here, but for so many years it looked like Kansas City used the turf to their advantage with the amount of speed they had.
They certainly did. They guys like Willie Wilson, George Brett, Hal McRae, hitting doubles and triples all over this place. I mean, it was, we'd come here and we were just overmatched because of their great team speed.
Well, the grass is in now here at Kauffman Stadium, and certainly one of the nicer venues now around the major leagues. Manny Ramirez 0 for 2 today with a pair of walks.
Glad to see when they shot the booth there that nobody was bothering Sherry today, too.
No imposters in the booth. Yeah, he thought about going, and he offered, according to Terry Kraft. Ramirez down 0-2.
Over the top curveball that time, and the strike being called on Manny Ramirez. An uncomfortable afternoon for Manny. A couple of walks, a couple of flyouts.
Popped up into shallow left center field for Baroa, who makes the catch for the final out. Lascano has a 1-2-3, top of the ninth, on to the bottom of the ninth. Red Sox on top 5-3. Red Sox on top 5-3 as we head to the last half of the ninth inning after a very nice job by Mike Timlin. 3 perfect innings of relief. He turns things over to the closer, Keith Polk, for the ninth.
10 for 11 in save opportunities for Polk on the season. He did work in the game last night. Not a save situation. Pitched an inning, gave up a run in that ball game. Sweeney 273, relevant 1 for 6, and Stairs 2 for 7 with a home run in their career off Keith Polk.
He's going to face Mike Sweeney to begin things here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Sweeney hitting a solo shot yesterday against the Red Sox, and here today a 2-run home run back in the first inning. Put the Royals on top 2-0. Kansas City at one time today enjoyed a 3-0 lead until the top of the 6th inning when the Red Sox scored 5 times. And the Royals certainly did not help themselves as part of that 5-run 6th inning. Royals pitching walked 4 Red Sox batters, 3 of them scoring. As Kansas City Royals batter to reach was back in the 5th inning as they bat here now in the bottom of the ninth.
Down earlier we gave that Yankees score. Yankees winning today. That game was played in 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Wow. You don't see that much anymore.
Isn't that a beautiful thing? Giambi returning to the lineup had a home run in that game, and Bertie Williams also had a home run.
Yankees winning today 2-1 over Texas, making a winner of Mike Mussina and a save for Mariano Rivera. As a result, the Red Sox need to win here today to keep pace, beginning the day 2.5 back of New York. To Sweeney to right field. McCarty started in, now backs up. He's got a tough sun to deal with and makes the catch. A little extra effort there looking up into the sunshine, but McCarty makes the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, you could see that sun shining off those sunglasses, and McCarty not only with the sunglasses but putting the glove up to try to help himself make that catch on the fly ball.
That last little move he made, I thought he was in trouble. That last little.
He did that just on purpose to trick you, Don. He told me he was going to do that.
Well, he makes the catch round number 1 here in the 9th. And it brings up Desi Relaford. Hitting in Ken Harvey's spot, who left the game. Having his forearm being x-rayed at the moment after the nasty collision with Jason Grimsley. Strike, and it's 1-1 to Relaford.
Well, from a Kansas City point of view, you hope those two guys are all right. I mean, Harvey second in the league in hitting, and of course Grimsley a key member of their bullpen.
The center field, Johnny Damon goes back to make the catch, and there's 2 down. It's now 13 in a row retired by Red Sox pitching. 2 down in the 9th, and here's Matt Stairs, an 0 for 3 showing today, and strikeout and 2 groundouts. On the ground, ranging, and Crespo has it, turns and fires, but it's not going to be in time. Good bid by Cesar Crespo. The time he threw it was on the shortstop side of second base, but Stairs reaching with 2 down, and the tying run will be coming to the plate.
Now they play Stairs to pull, and too far to go that time for Crespo. He gets to it, but awfully difficult to get much on the throw to first base. That's a big play. That gives the Royals the opportunity to get that tying run to the plate.
First Royals hit since the 4th inning, the first base runner since the 5th. And the tying run at the plate, and Joe Rando 0 for 3 today. Rando's grounded out to first base twice and flied to center field. Just 3 for 22 in his career against Keith Polk. Polk ahead, 0-2. Trying to save it for Derek Lowe. Polk with the 0-2 pitch. Away, and it's 1-2 now to Joe Rando. And Sweeney to fly to right, Relaford to fly out to center field, and an infield hit for Matt Stairs. Foul off the right side, backing out of play. Red Sox dropped the first game of the series on Friday night, came back with a victory yesterday, and trying to take 2 out of 3 from the Royals before heading back home again. Sliced foul down behind the Kansas City dugout.
See, so far in this at bat, Polk just working Joe Rando away. If he's going to beat him with a home run, it's going to have to be to the opposite field. Changeup.
Popped up foul. Varitek calling in foul ground, and the Red Sox win. A come-from-behind victory today. The Red Sox trailed 3-0, but a 5-run top of the 6th inning secures the 5-3 victory for Boston, and the Red Sox take 2 out of 3 from the Kansas City Royals.
Play of the game is brought to you by Foxwoods Resort and Casino, and it's the third double of the afternoon for Johnny Damon, and this one will drive in 2 runs. A big 5-run 6th inning for the Red Sox, the only inning today that they scored in. Damon with 3 doubles on the afternoon and 2 runs batted in.
Red Sox better their record to 33-23 on the season with the victory. Lowe, the winner, 5-5. Grimsley, the loser, 3-2. Polk picks up his 11th save of the season. 22,964 watched it. The game took 2 hours and 47 minutes. For Jerry Remy, I'm Don Orsillo saying so long from Kansas City. It's time now for WB Mason's Extra Innings with Tom Caron and Sam Horn. Tom?